It's running late here on 88.3 FM The Sting. We're very excited to catch up with a lovely individual who 5 years ago I finally caught up to after chasing her musical adventures through every guest appearance and every session piece, every soundtrack and every single, and she was annoyed as so because I had her sign each and every one. But I'm like, hey, I'm here. You're finally here in town. The wonderful Paula Cole is here with a brand new record. It's actually been out for a while because she released it to her audience on a fundraising / advance notice in a custom case. And the album's called Seven, her 7th album. And it is a beautiful collection of very acoustic works. And we're thrilled to have the wonderful Paula Cole on the show again. Paula, thank you so much for all the music and joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure and honor. Thank you, Todd.
Are you going to repackage Seven, or is it always going to be in this gorgeous handmade craft that I have in my hand here with the bird nest?
Oh, you have the craft?
Yeah.
No, that was a limited run.
Okay,
so
cool.
So I think there's only like 200 of those. So
okay.
There is a different package.
Okay.
And the different package has some photography on it. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm really proud of it. I love that it's all acoustic.
Yeah.
Especially, this world is just so hostile. We need beautiful music. We need gentle, beautiful, organic, live, well-played music. We don't need things made by machines slamming our ears. That's how I feel about it. I want real music played by real people on real instruments, and maybe even hear some of the air moving between the instruments live in the room with great miking by great engineers. So I'm down with old school. That's me. I love it. I still listen to a lot of 60s and 70s recordings. That's kind of my sweet spot as to where I gravitate listening. So this album, yeah, I'm proud of it. I love its acoustic bass. It's got my original brothers, Kevin Barry on guitar and Jay Bellarose on drums, who both had stellar careers after working with me, and we're kind of reuniting on this album. Very
cool. Yeah, I knew it was Jay. I mean, I don't have liner notes in the version that I have in my hand here, but I knew it was Jay. I could tell by his feel. I'm like, that's got to be somebody with a lot of talent. I'm betting it's Jay Bellarose.
Just the feel from God.
Yeah, that was before I even put two and two together and realized he was with you in the Paula Cole band. Record.
We were together for a couple decades, really, because
I'm sure.
Kevin, Barry, Jay, and I are the original trio coming out of college together. So I was 19 when I met those guys, and I played with them all through college, after college, touring through the 90s into the aughts, and then now again. They just are my primary musical influences. They're up there with all the greats in my mind. They've influenced me profoundly. They've both gone on to work with legends after working with me, and they're just stunning musicians and like spiritual brothers to me. I love them dearly. So I need to play with Jay again. So actually, Jay will be on the stage with me at the Cleveland show on the 12th of November. So you'll see him then. It'll be me and Jay and a guitar player named Mark Arelli as a trio. So you can say hi to Jay again then.
It's going to be such a wonderful show. Well, I have a couple notes on a few songs here. I'll start with the easy one, which is the album opener. We don't know where we are going. If I'm going to go back to the first time I heard the record, I'm going to pretend I never heard the record before, and I go back and I listen to this. And what is incredibly striking, and as you've already mentioned before, is the acousticness of the record. And yet, obviously, there is a little bit of multi-tracking, and the way the voices are built on this and the harmonies and everything else like that, I want to scream campfire. I want to scream, I don't pretend to be as good a songwriter as anyone else in the world, but I know that there's this feeling that you all get when the song just comes out of the ether. It was always there. It just came through you. It feels like that when I first heard it.
Absolutely. You nailed it. It came through the ether. It wrote itself. It came so gently and easily. And there it was. And there it is. I don't even know. It kind of happened like a dream, that song. Yes. I don't know what to say.
That's great. No, that's
it just
great.
happened. I love it. I wish they were all gentle like that. They just are a force and they come. Hi, this is Paula Cole, and you're listening to 88.3 The Sting.
Gloucester Harbor Shore. When I made little mental notes of, okay, what am I going to talk to her about? To me, I scream aria on that one. The way you sing about it, it sounds like something that should have an orchestra behind you and just swelling with these amazing vocal things. Because you do. You sing about this place and it just swoons away like a bird flying. That's the best I can give you. I'll let you take it from there.
Oh, I love it. I love your vision. And I can totally hear orchestra. It's funny, I kept it humble and sparse, more New England, sparse. Jay makes these beautiful sounds on his drums that feel like buoys and clanging and bells clanging out at sea. And I grew up in Rockport, which is next to Gloucester, and I grew up with fishermen and fishing families, and we felt the power of nature there. Wow. And I just felt moved to not write about my own autobiography, but somebody else's, and that somebody else is the perspective of a wife of a fisherman who's got her 2 kids, and she's waiting for her fisherman husband to come home. There's a storm, as they are in New England, these storms, and she's waiting and waiting, and he doesn't come home. And in Gloucester, if you walk on the boulevard, you'll see a beautiful statue of just this very thing, a woman waiting, looking out to sea with her 2 children. And that statue really moved me when I was a little kid, and it went into my unconscious, and the song came out 30 years later. So that is somebody else's story, and that's also new for me. I tend to be highly autobiographical when I write, and it brought about a feeling of the sea and almost like a Celtic ballad almost, singing out to sea. And I love your vision of strings. It has that grandiosity and humility all wrapped in together. So again, that's my last song I've written. That one just barely made the album. Hi, this is Paula Cole, and you're listening to 88.3 The Sting.
Speaking of third-person writing, which is always difficult for someone, as you've said, who's done a lot of autobiographical stuff, it's the easiest thing in the world. You know yourself the best. But putting yourself in that other position and doing a narration, I found that a lot in this record. Some of it kind and wonderful, some of it a little... shall we say, I don't want to say spiteful, but there's some things I found in New York City that sounded like ouch.
And father, ouch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to say tell me the whole world of the story here because they don't pay me enough to do psychology.
I know.
but I was
right.
like, ay, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in my 40s. I've had enough blows in life. I've packed in enough punches, and that's the beautiful thing about a songwriting career. It's not like you're in sports or you're a ballet dancer over in your 20s. I'm here gathering life experiences, and I feel I have richer stories to tell at this point. I'm going to carry this on until I die, probably. I love what I do. I'm a writer. I'm a singer. And yes, I tend to be autobiographical because those are my heroes, John Lennon and Joni Mitchell and Dolly Parton and Neil Young. Even Bob Marley, I love his folksy style of writing. Me, first person. But every once in a while I'm moved to go to third, and that's just what happened. Regarding all of the ouch, yes, it's there. I am in a better place in my life. Thank you, Jesus. I am. I'm more settled, and I'm happy with my kids and my David. But I've had some hard times, like everybody, and I need to let it bleed, man. And this is the natural place. I mean, where else can you put your pain or even your anger, right? That's constructive, and that heals your heart, and maybe in so doing some other hearts too. It's here in the music. So I won't go into it, but I had a really terrible divorce, custody battle, And that's, there's touches of that. That'll never leave my soul. So they appear. Those ghosts appear every once in a while. That's all. Hi, this is Paula Cole, and you're listening to Running Late with Todd Richards on 88.3 The Sting.
The song that really came at me, and I put down literally in my notes here, third person, right next to the title, is The Book of Dorothy. If you don't mind me asking, who's Dorothy?
Dorothy is my grandmother on my mother's side.
That's true. It's in the song, isn't it? I feel like a fool
She's
now.
my maternal grandmother.
Well, it's okay, because I didn't want to just, I wanted you to say it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, it's totally true. And she did outlive two husbands, and she was prim, prim, and endured both wars and the Depression and the advent of radio and television and the internet. And she lived to be 96, and she loved to garden, and she became a humanist and a vegetarian in her 80s. I mean, beautiful soul, open, living life so long and still so open. And Dorothy's my middle name, so I have her name in me. When I look at my pinky fingers, I see her pinky fingers. I don't know. I feel like she's part of me. I wish she were still here. I have so many questions. So it was just a loving little ditty tribute in a Paul McCartney kind of jolly way, That ba-dum dum 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 ba-dum dum feel, Paul McCartney kind of jolly. I could just hear him playing along and having a brass band on that song. Hi, this is Paula Cole, and you're listening to 88.3 The Sting.
The album Closer, of course, is a lovely cover, and for those that have not chased down every waking recording that Paula Cole has done, as I have, or at least have attempted to, the fact that you have taken on so many amazing jazz standards and, not even standards, just wonderful jazz songs with the likes of Chris Bodie and other situations that find you maybe not doing what people have come to know you for. It's always like, the thing is I saw the title, I didn't put two and two together, and then I heard you sing Goodnight Irene, and I thought, holy cow. Wow. And in so many ways, and like, what in the world brought her to that? And I'm like, I'm sure it's very simple, but oh my goodness, what a wonderful idea for her voice and her cover and everything else. So you tell me, is this something that you've done for years, or did it just kind of finally strike you as, here's a song I should record?
Well, my older sister, her name is Irene, and my dad named her after Leadbelly's song, Goodnight Irene. So that was a song that was sung in our home a lot. My sister was upset. Why did you name me after such a depressing song, Dad? But I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I loved it. I loved that she was named after that song. And I just I don't see genres or boundaries in music. I grew up with folk. I grew up with polka. I grew up with country. I grew up with Simon and Garfunkel. And then I discovered Miles Davis and Aretha Franklin. To me, it's all great music. So I just sing it all. In my senior year of high school, I was learning every standard in the real book. I'd sit down at the piano with the real book, and I would teach myself standards. And I wanted to be like a female Chet Baker when I went to Berklee College of Music. I started off as a jazz singer. My first deal was from a jazz label, which I rejected while I was still in college because I wanted to write my own music. But I'm comfortable as a musician in all these different idioms because there's actually very little difference. It's just maybe difference in feel or where it came from on the planet, but often the chord changes are very similar. So it's a universal language to me, and I kind of flow easily if it's a folk song. In this case, it was something my family had sung for decades, or jazz standards. Again, my family sung those classics for decades. I'm influenced by all these musical styles, and I see them as one. Music is the universal language. It's my primary language. So it's funny, it is a folk song, but it's written by Leadbelly, and I just loved it. It's just a family song. It's for my sister. It felt natural. This album is about my family, my life, my outlook on those close to me or those in my environment, like Gloucester, Harbor Shores, Fisherwoman. This is so much an organic snapshot of my life. And Goodnight Irene is very much a part of my family. Hi, this is Paula Cole, and you're listening to 88.3 The Sting.
It is an honor and a pleasure to speak with you, and thank you so much for the music, and we will see you at Music Box Supper Club on the 12th with your band and all these wonderful songs to feature for our lovely audience, and thank you for coming back.
I'm psyched to be in Cleveland again. What a great city, full of heart and soul. Come on down.